Chapter 455, Heavenly Ring. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. In the internal space of the time and space spinel, it took 5 days for the Abyss Ancient Sword to completely absorb 100 pieces of the 10th level genuine martial arms and turn them into the sword blade power. The total number of basic inscriptions on the Abyss Ancient Sword was now 210. The number of medium-level inscriptions was still 18. The power of the sword had reached a new level. Zhang Yuochen was far from being able to display its true power with his current cultivation. The Abyss Ancient Sword's spirit was still not fully revived. It was estimated that the sword spirit could heal the wound until the Abyss Ancient Sword reached the level of 1000 inscriptions weapon. Zhang Yuochen practiced sword technique in the internal space of the time and space spinel. He envisioned himself playing against Kong Laniu. Kong Laniu could turn one simple sacred guiding sword move into a magic trick. She could easily defeat Zhang Yuochen. The power of the same sword technique actually varied greatly when displayed by different people. I can't even resist one of her moves. It is a huge challenge to block 10. I have 1 month. If I succeed, my control of power will surely reach an unprecedented height. Zhang Yuochen had been imitating Kong Laniu's posture and strenuous manner all day, hoping to comprehend something from it. He had performed one move of Sacred Guiding Sword more than 1000 times. Finally, he made great progress, noticing the subtlety of Kong Laniu's sword technique. Just as he calmed down and prepared to refine, he heard Blackie's voice outside the time and space spinel. Zhang Yuochen, the Sword Sanctum carriage has come to pick you up. It's waiting outside the courier station of Marshall Market. They say that the 3-day deadline is up and the Sword Sanctum disciples are ready to fight in the Heavenly Ring. Shocked by Blackie's voice, the feeling of mystery in Zhang Yuochen's mind suddenly disappeared. Zhang Yuochen wanted to continue to capture the feeling, but it was no use. He sighed and walked out of the internal space. The disciple of the Sword Sanctum was Lu Fanshan. Zhang Yuochen had indeed promised to fight with him. I was defeated by Kong Laniu with one sword move. It was not just because I didn't have enough control over the power, but also because my actual combat experience was inadequate. I will take this opportunity to go to the Heavenly Ring and have a nice fight. Maybe it will help me improve more quickly. After thinking it through, Zhang Yuochen climbed into the Sword Sanctum carriage and went to the Colosseum of the Marshall Market in the 7th District. The Colosseum of the Marshall Market in the 7th District was where the most intense battles in the Eastern Holy Land, even in the entire Eastern region, took place. Many gods' favored sons gathered there. Disciples of various colleges and martial clubs could enter the Colosseum of the Marshall Market to fight at any time. They weren't just looking to become famous in one battle. They also wanted to refine themselves, improve their combat skills and gain fighting experience. Lu Fanshan had a great reputation in the Eastern region. He had a body of sacred tree and had reached the Heaven Realm at a young age. Among his peers, few people could match him. In this generation, if there weren't incredible geniuses like Zhang Yuochen, Buqian Fan, and Yi, with Lu Fanshan's talent, he would surely shine brilliantly and become a benchmark of the time. However, he had been born at the wrong time. In this era, there were not only several saintly beings, but also many talents in the ultimate realm, such as Zhang Yuochen and Buqian Fan. His fame was suppressed. Even so, Lu Fanshan's talent could not be underestimated. He had not only reached the final state of the Heaven Realm, he had also refined the purple cloud-patterned eaglewood, practiced into a body of sacred tree, and reached its peak. Lu Fanshan had just challenged 7 consecutive warriors on the Heaven board and succeeded. He was currently engaged in his 8th battle. The man who played against him was Yi Qing, a disciple of Hanging Sect. He ranked 5,800th on the Heaven board and his military merits had reached 287,000. The Heaven board recruited all their warriors of the Heaven realm in Kunlun's field. Only those who had 10 winning streaks in the Heavenly Ring, or who had accumulated 10,000 military merits in the battlefield of the primitive world were eligible to enter the Heaven board. The number of warriors on the Heaven board had reached more than 370,000. And all of them were under the age of 60. Warriors who could enter the top 10,000 were all first-class masters. Most of them had special physical qualities. Moreover, they were in the Yellow Realm, the Black Realm and the Earth Realm, and were close to the ultimate realm. It could be said that the top 10,000 warriors on the heaven board were 1 in a million talents. In 100 years, they would rule Kunlun's field. The vast majority of them would become dominators. Yi Qing, who appeared to be in his early 30s, was dressed in a pale blue scholar robe and 2 neat beards on his chin. He dressed like a man of letters. He had reached the completion of the heaven realm at the age of 38. His talent was higher than the disciples of many powerful saint families. However, he was actually turning 58 this year, and his cultivation was still in the completion of the heaven realm. For 20 full years, he had not been able to break through the limit of mortals. In spite of this, his strength had continued to improve, and he had ranked in the top 10,000 on the heaven board for the past 20 years. Although his realm did not break through the limit of the mortal warrior, the strength he erupted had already surpassed its limit. It was enough to compete with a monk at the first change of the fish-dragon realm. Lu Fanshan, you have only reached the final state of the heaven realm, and you dare to challenge me. Aren't you being arrogant? Yi Qing held an iron fan in his hand and showed a leisurely look. In Yi Qing's eyes, Lu Fanshan was still too young. Even if he had won 7 times in a row, it was nothing remarkable. He had also been very arrogant at Lu Fanshan's age and won 31 times in the Colosseum of the Martial Market. So what? Now, his cultivation was still at the completion of the heaven realm and he had failed to reach the fish-dragon realm. The holy road was difficult to reach. Lu Fanshan placed his sword transversely and his eyes were firm. He said, Yi Qing, you are old. I will replace you and become the 5,800th person on the heaven board from today on. To be honest, I have never treated you as an opponent. My opponent is someone else. I'm just using you to practice. You will not brag like this once I kick you out of the heavenly ring. Yi Qing was a bit angry. He mobilized his genuine chi, then rushed toward Lu Fanshan and struck out a handprint. Bang, bang. The 2 masters fought fiercely. A loud noise rose up in the Colosseum of the Martial Market. Nearly 12,000 warriors sat watching the battle between Lu Fanshan and Yi Qing. Seeing Zhang Yuochen walk in, Lu Xiuan immediately rushed down and took hold of his arm. Zhang Yuochen, you're finally here. My elder brother is a warlike. He can't wait to go to the Colosseum and challenge warriors on the heaven board. He has already defeated 7 people. Zhang Yuochen looked toward the heavenly ring. He said, your brother's strength has progressed. I remember he used to rank 300,000th on the heaven board. Now, he's actually challenging Yi Qing, a top 10,000 warrior. Lu Xiuan smiled. With my brother's current strength, it is not hard to defeat Yi Qing. Of course, it is because of the purple cloud patterned eaglewood that you gave him. After refining the eaglewood, his body of sacred tree reached its peak. According to the master, my brother's current physical quality is enough to contend with a saintly being. Zhang Yuochen carefully observed the battle. He could not help nodding his head and gasping in admiration. They are very powerful, their martial techniques are ingenious, and the moves are fluent. They have almost played warrior's strength to its limit. Few people under the fish-dragon realm can match this. If Zhang Yuochen did not use his martial soul, there was no absolute certainty he could defeat Lu Fanshan based on his current strength. Moreover, Zhang Yuochen could feel that Lu Fanshan was hiding some of his skills. He did not use all his strength when fighting against Yi Qing. Zhang Yuochen had been able to absorb the half-saint's light and advance his martial soul to the 6th change of the fish-dragon realm. With the help of the powerful sword sanctum, Lu Fanshan certainly had the ability to find half-saint's light and enhance his martial soul. Even if his martial soul had not reached the 6th change, it was not much lower. Zhang Yuochen felt for the first time that the fight between him and Lu Fanshan would probably be a fierce one. It would not be easy to defeat him. Zhang Yuochen was sitting in the spectator stands, when he suddenly noticed a familiar petite figure. She wore aquamarine robes with a white jade belt around her slim waist outlining her curvy figure. It was Duanmu Xingling. Duanmu Xingling was sitting behind Zhang Yuochen. The teenage girl always had a charming smile on her face. Zhang Ruochen, I heard that you will play against the Sword Sanctum disciple, so I came to the Colosseum first thing this morning. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Ever since he discovered Duan Muxingling's true identity, the relationship between them had been awkward. They were no longer as intimate as they once were. Zhang Yuochen glanced at Duan Muxingling and smiled. Senior sister apprentice Duan Mu. It's been a long time. Duan Muxingling grinned. A tinge of regret crept into her voice. We all live in the courier station of Marshall Market, but you never take the initiative to see me. Certainly, it's been a long time. I knew that once you discovered my true identity, our relationship would never be the same. She said her last sentence using sound wave, so only Zhang Yuochen could hear it. She took a deep breath, and said in a self-deprecating tone, you keep your mind on preparing for the next fight. Don't worry about me. I've just been thinking too much recently. Lu Fanshan is a powerful opponent. You must not take it lightly. If you defeat him, I will give you a 5 elements spirit treasure.